तो इतना तीन
A very good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome you. Want to welcome each one of you for logging in to this session today of Dreamers and Innovators. The whole idea being that we will be running through the entire program, what Dreamers and Innovators has all been about. Okay, at first, may I just request everybody to please mute themselves? That'd be wonderful.
स्वर्ण थोड़ी देर में करती हूँ. हाँ ठीक है, मीटिंग में हूँ इसमें.
All right. I hope everybody, yeah. Pardon me for this initial teething trouble. This is something that was not planned. We have the office where we were going to log in. I intended to log in from. Unfortunately, the light just went off. So there's been last minute commotion here at my end specifically. So apologies for that. And that's the reason I'm just taking a little bit, just give me 1 minute and then we'll dive into the fun webinar in just a minute, please. All right. All right. Okay. A very good morning. Thank you so much for logging in and being part of our this morning session where we will be telling you all about our endeavor for the past, what we have tried to accomplish in the past 3 years. So it's been an incredible journey, and want to thank Keitsa, who's been with me, my partner in crime through and through. So Keitsa, would you like to just take over for a second, please? And then we'll just begin in detail, please.
Yes. All right. So good morning, everyone. First and foremost, we'd like to thank you for sparing time to be here with us, to join us for this webinar. Our endeavor today is to help you understand exactly what Dreamers and Innovators is that we've sent to you. I know we've just gone by the definition of it being a knowledge and skill building platform, but what does this definition entail? And what exactly is it that we do and that goes on behind the curtain is what we're going to unveil to you. And at the conclusion of it, we are hoping to share our future plans with you to see how you can help us also spread our wings further out, try to reach a larger number of students, a larger number of learners across the world. And one more thing I'd just like to make of note before we continue any further. Happy Teachers Day to all the teaching community that's present here. It is your day. I know, I mean, there's no point in making one special day. Every day should be Teachers Day because I know we're all struggling with the students. But bottom line is this is the day when everyone cherishes the presence of a teacher in their life. And we truly find ourselves blessed that our webinar date happened to match on Teachers Day. And we have a teaching community here that we can admire and appreciate, as well as show that we want to be a greater part of this community in our efforts through Dreamers and Innovators. Yes, Mr. Mel.
Absolutely. Okay, now I'm set. Again, apologies for the little goof up initially. All right. So at first, yes, of course, as Keitsa clearly said, thank you. It's a Teachers Day. And definitely, this is something that we owe to all of you. I also, as a parent of 2 children, would like to thank each one of you that the way this past year has been, all of you have done an incredible job. And it really wouldn't have been possible to keep them sane without your support. And also, as a little background, is that my mother was also a teacher. So I understand the other side very thoroughly and very well. So I do understand the hardships that teachers face. And especially last year, when suddenly the pandemic struck and all the teachers had to acquire another skill, which is not something which was there in their purview. The challenges were immense. So we totally respect you. Everybody respects you as parents, as also now the other end of the fraternity. I want to tell you that your contribution to the entire society has been immense, and we respect you for that. So, this is another thing which is also becomes a foreground for our objective of Dreamers and Innovators. So before I dive into the details of that, I'll just take a minute to explain that how was this conceived, the idea conceived. So as I mentioned, I have two kids, and my older one is in grade 11 now. And I realized when she was younger, when she was only in grade 6, at that point of time, I realized that certain things that the society is demanding today, in terms of the education, in terms of the world, the globalized environment that we're living in, is far beyond that what our children are learning today. So the content that in the books is there is brilliant. It's really good, but somehow under the pressure of maybe competition with too many people, also the vast syllabus, they're not able to grasp as much as they should. So that is where Dreamers and Innovators was born. And I was lucky that I could meet literally Amir Khan of Tare Zameen Par, that is Mr. Keith Gomes. And this idea was floated to Mr. Keith Gomes, and it just was something that I take immense pride that we could accomplish far beyond what we had ever aspired for. So together we've created a knowledge and skill building workshop. The background to that is that, you see, if we go back to the 19th century, Industrial Revolution 1 happened. And in that, what we learned was that steam engine came about, and suddenly the power of basically, everybody realized that now the world is getting smaller. But in about 100 years, electricity was discovered. So that was known as Industrial Revolution 2. And thereafter, it just took about 50 years, and thereafter 40 years. So we are at the cusp of moving on to Industrial Revolution from 4 to 5 also, where things are drastically changing at a pace that never ever anybody humanly had ever anticipated. So what is happening is that we've got to help our children to be more at par with the world demands. When I say more at par, that is in terms of the knowledge and in terms of the skill. When I talk about the knowledge, I just don't mean anything. What I mean is that news starts making sense to them. What is coming in the newspaper, they look forward to it. They are able to deliver. They're able to comprehend what is happening. So that is the effort the Dreamers and Innovators is doing. And then is also, more importantly, the skills. What kind of skills are we looking at? The skills of problem solving. The skills that today they have to basically make an impact in the world. It is there. So all these skills, we'll be diving into detail. What knowledge we have been able to impart in the past 3 years is what we like to share with you. So again, thank you so much for logging in. A very happy Teachers' Day. And I think we'll like to begin, but I'll just like to give a little broad structure also how we plan to go about the whole thing. We are looking at 45 minutes. We don't want to keep you away from your family for very long. This is Sunday. So our structure is going to be that there's a presentation that Keitha and I will be going through. And at the end of the presentation, we have our two dreamers. Dreamers are the participants who've been with us, who are learning with us, who are encouraging us. So those dreamers, we have two dreamers here. They will be giving you their feedback. And after that, we also have two parents who are with us, who will be sharing whatever their learnings and their journey with you. So if there's any question, anything, please feel free to add it in the chat, and we would be definitely addressing them. So thank you once again. And Keitha, over to you, please.
All right. So We're not going to be taking too much time here because everything's been thoroughly organized. And our expectation, bottom line, is that by the end of this presentation, you have a really good grasp of what DNI is all about. And we are hoping for some reciprocation from your end, surely. So let's begin. So Dreamers and Innovators, as we've already specified, is a knowledge and skill building platform. It started out as an idea of a parent who wanted to bring about a sort of a bridge in trying to build awareness in her kids about what's exactly needed for her kids to be in possession of, knowledge-wise, skill-wise, awareness-wise, when they step out into the world beyond school gates. And that's exactly the arena that it started with at its inception. And now it has grown far beyond, far beyond. And that's what we're going to disclose here in today's presentation. To start off, we're going to be talking about the part that primarily builds the base of everything. That's the skills. We're going to help you understand exactly what sort of skills we are developing here at Dreamers and Innovators and how that development even takes place. So we're basically sort of opening up all our DNI secrets, our pitara of expertise, and we want to share it with you so that you also can provide us any insight or input that could be valuably added to the progress of DNI, something that you would like to see in platforms such as Dreamers and Innovators. Secondly, throughout the entire presentation, you will repeatedly keep hearing our philosophy being buffeted around. It will help you understand exactly what we're trying to achieve here. And in the simplest of words, it's just to create learning experiences that truly engage thinkers and young learners. Besides that, the knowledge part will be covered, exactly what sort of topics we have dove into. That forms the overall part of all the modules that we propose to our young dreamers. And we have built that repertoire over the course of the previous 3 years. And most importantly, methodology. So even in the classroom, we start with a particular design in our mind, right? About how there are learning objectives to be met, about how there are pre-expected things that the children should be aware of. Similarly, DNI has also created its own patented methodology for the learning experience rooms that we create. So we're going to unveil that as well to you. So again, we are more than happy to gain more of your insight, given that you yourself has so much experience with your kids and even with the students that you have worked with across the years. Let's get started. So like we've said, DNI is all about knowledge and skills. So let's focus onto skills first. So what's the need with skills? So here's something really interesting we want you to note. According to as many number of surveys you go through, any job as of today, when it looks at a person's application, it already pre-expects that they don't only possess the hard skills, which are their knowledge skills, but also soft skills. And soft skills are diverse. They are not easily compared through simple social interaction. They have to be given thought, created, so that they can be built and engendered in young people. So currently, according to statistical researches by Business Insider and LinkedIn and other big, market analysts, these happen to be the top 5 skills in demand, which are beyond your hard skills, means beyond the normal school knowledge and university and academic knowledge you possess. These include collaboration, flexibility, problem solving, creativity, and visualization. And all of these are quite broad in their expanse, especially when you try to look at them in terms of how they're applied to professional life. Because it starts from something as simple as being very well managed as a team member, to being a great supervisor who manages the team well, to being someone who can manage the task load very well, to someone who can find loopholes and identify issues and innovate upon them to create good solutions. And this sort of thinking in the professional world makes it more demanding for us and for the young people of today to be better prepared with those skills. All right, especially in countries across the world that are trying to hit the global benchmark of what we define as development, where technological advancement and these things matter. Lastly, and most importantly, 2 more important things with skills. 1, even everyday management of life requires skills as of today. So if you were to see your own life, you started ordering things. You started using the internet to learn about the news, to learn about how to manage yourself during the lockdown, to even know maybe about when your car should be serviced. All of this means your everyday life is being intrinsically linked with another entity. For that, you need to be savvy with that. And for the young people of today, they need to get even savvier, because as Mrs. Mehra already said, we're moving from Industrial Revolution 4 to 5. That means technology is just going to get stronger and more complex. And therefore, you will need to be more capable at engaging with it. Lastly, this is something that DNI has focused on building in young people, and we are proud to say we've done that: intrinsic accountability. This is something that even schools aspire to do. I mean, even parents aspire to do this, that the child, the learner, feels accountable for what they do. That means they have a responsibility towards the role they play in different communities. Like in DNI, the dreamer community has a role to play. They are put into groups while competing. They are made writers of the week, where they contribute to newsletters that we print. They also contribute to overall agendas that we create by participating and giving us feedback on what activity they enjoyed more or what knowledge part they truly loved. And all of this helps create within them a need to be more responsible, not just for their own role, but also for the role that they have towards others. And that is something I'd say I'm really proud of seeing develop in the young people that I'm exposed to through Dreamers and Innovators. Now, this is the need of the hour. Let's talk about what our knowledge and skill capsules present. So these are the skills that we have easily covered in the past 3 years. And most of them we didn't even realize originally when we were working on them. So let's talk about 21st century skills. So 21st century skills is a particular category of skills which has been identified by American, European institutions. And now, as of 2021 and 2022 even, CBSE has adopted 21st century skills. It's divided under these 3 major paradigms: the 4 C's, which are collaboration, creativity, communication, critical thinking; IMT, which is all your literacy based. Information literacy means how you handle data; media literacy, how do you use all the different forms of media that you have access to, and technology. And flips, these are purely skills that develop your personhood, from flexibility to leadership to initiative to the ability to possess, like to have productivity. Means most young people today are consumers, right? So how do you make them more productive while engaging with technology? These are the kind of questions that we've actually gone through, because Mrs. Mehra as a parent has witnessed that in her kids. So she's seen that her children are using Instagram or Facebook, but she wants to basically alter the way they engage with tech. And that's something that we have made a part of DNI. Besides that, like we said, professions look for soft skills. That's also been our forte. We focus a lot on developing confidence in young people. I mean, again, a moment of pride. We've seen young people who just stood twirling their fingers and just moving left to right, unable to communicate, to coming to a point at our workshops now where we have to request them, can you please allow others to speak? It's super funny, but it's a great moment of joy. I mean, every time we ask them to shush, we even say, we're proud of you, but you got to shush, you know? So that's the kind of work that happens at DNI, that we create a comfortable space, a community of learners where everyone eventually gets familiar, eventually comes to appreciate and admire, where criticism is purely based on positive enforcement, and where everyone's opinion is provided value. Besides that, we do go into other nitty-gritties of soft skills, like you might already be aware of, that you do at school. If you're an English teacher, I'm sure you've experienced this. When you assess a child for a speaking skill activity, you're also assessing their body language. You're also assessing their tone. So these are part of soft skills, and these matter a hell lot when you become a professional. You as professionals know that. And with today's world getting more and more professionally diversified, definitely these are core necessities. Lastly, cognitive skills. Cognitive as in thinking oriented. So thinking oriented related skills are definitely a part of DNI ambit. All of our activities are directed towards them in a very, very patented style that we call the subtle art of learning. So in the subtle art of learning, what we do is all our activities are so engaging that the child is busy working with their team members or competing against another team that they don't realize along the way they're picking up a really useful skill. Among these cognitive skills, we list primarily problem solving, research, and analysis. These are 3 of the primary ones we work with, and we combine it with the soft skill of presentation. We provide kids a lot of different platforms to present themselves, from a newsletter to a speech to a debating competition. We've done all of that. And purely because we wanted the kids to have a place where they could show off the knowledge. Like there's this beautiful thing Mrs. Mehra always says to the kids when the session is about to end. Now go home, go to your dinner table and show off your knowledge to your mom and dad. And we're, again, proud to say this. A lot of parents say, what have you fed to my child? Because even I can't answer their questions. So these are the kind of skills that we've worked towards building in them, from thinking to completely as personalities to the need of the hour by acclaimed institutions across the world, the 21st century skills. Now, when it comes to these skills, how do you provide them to the kids? Like we were saying. So we provide it through our techniques with activities. Again, here we are opening up our pitara of activities. These are all the activities that DNI has developed during the past 3 years, and we've created a database of them. All these activities can be basically combined into any knowledge session that we create. And depending upon what our need is, what we feel should be done. So at DNI, we try to focus on the development of the learner across the module. So we accordingly assimilate the activities so that everyone gets a fair opportunity, as well as an opportunity that's comfortable for them, not for what we are considering our overall agenda. In this, you can see that a bunch of our activities are directly linked with major of the skills that we just mentioned are the need of the hour, from collaboration to problem solving to creativity to flexibility. A majority of our activities indirectly or directly present them. So to show you, like, just to give you an example of some of the activities that my personal favorites. So we have this activity which we play, which is called bingo, where we get the young thinkers to come up with a list of thematic words related to a topic that has not been released to them yet. All right. And that is basically to see if they've understood the concept well enough throughout the session to already determine and predict what knowledge will come their way. This helps them become really good also at understanding news and understanding any sort of knowledge or concept-based communication around them. Because if they know what the topic is, they already know what to expect. And if they know what to expect, they know how to contribute. Basically, we want to make all of them yappers. We want them to talk because their innovative and really, really sometimes innocent ideas can show us things that even we are too far from witnessing, because we've pretty much grown out of that age of innocence that a child possesses. Their questioning power can result in innovative ideas. And you as teachers know that best. I as a teacher have recognized that. Sometimes children give me life lessons that help me handle my life better. So in that sense, all our activities, as you can see, from Pictionary to a crossword, to a concept map, to a minute paper, to brain writing, everything that we've created has been an innovation of a tried and tested formula. And we always direct it towards the acquisition of a skill for dreamers. This is overall the agenda with how we work with skills. Now let's talk about some other fun innovations that DNI did along the way. So we had 3 years, like we told you. Now the 3 years, we're not just going to work with knowledge and just work with activities, because that'll just be like not fun enough. So we thought of creating something more. We've also created structures. So across the journey, each module tries to pick up a core skill. So we may pick up problem solving. We may pick up a speech writing. We may pick up something as simple as just the ability to logically present your ideas to convince others. And what we'll do throughout the module, we'll create a structure that will be repeatedly shared every session. This repeated bombardment of the structure actually enables them to embrace it, to almost permeate within them so that they can start practicing it. So something as useful taught at university levels like SWOT analysis, where you study the structure, weakness, opportunity, and threats of something, to something as ancient as the Greek plans for rhetoric. How do you convince people? You show that your ideas have ethos, which is character and trust, pathos, which is emotional appeal, logos, which means logic. And when you give kids these structures, something amazing happens. By the last session, the write-ups that they are creating are extremely insightful and at the same time, perfectly organized. That means they're not a scatterbrain like a little baby anymore. They're starting to think in a way that can make their ideas more acceptable to others. And that has been our agenda all along. So this has also been a part of how we're working. We are developing techniques all along our journey. With each new module, we try to come up with a new technique for which we'll come up with a small acronym, we'll come up with a triangle, we'll come up with a shape, and we'll keep bombarding it every session here or there in passing. And before you know it, the kids are correcting us. So that's the fun of working with techniques at DNI, where they enable children to have not only structured thinking, but also structured presentation, so that their ideas are more acceptable, understandable, and comprehensive to the people who receive them. And that, to me, as an educator, I would say, is a really, really important thing to do. Because Every young child that comes to you has a lot to say, but anyone could easily just ignore them because whatever they said wasn't in the right words or wasn't in the right form. If you give that the right form and the right words, they can easily be heard, be valued. And that adds immensely to the character of young people, especially when they're growing up. Because if you're valued as a young person, you will have good self-esteem and self-worth as you grow up as an individual. And that will make you more confident to contribute to society. And that's pretty much how we see D&I when skills go, that we make them young people who will face the challenge that's currently pressing the world, like climate crisis, like the agenda of sexuality, gender, racial discriminations, geopolitics. All of these issues are a part of our knowledge pack. And when you expose young people to this, you actually see that they have very, very caring sentiments, that they do want to improve things, that they're not very satisfied with the way the world truly is when they actually see it beyond the knowledge of the book, beyond the knowledge of what's just the internet. When they start putting the picture together, they realize, yeah, we're not happy with what we have. And therefore, a fire is enkindled to create an improved world that they can inhabit and the future generations can inhabit. So overall, when we say the phrase, children are the future of the world, at D&I, I guess I'm very, very proud to say, having worked with Mrs. Mehra for so long, that it truly is a sincere concept that we keep to the heart, that we're really a part of the lives of these kids and their families, and we do our best to contribute in the development side of their life. Now, we've covered on the skills and we've covered on a bunch of our techniques and activities. Now comes our model. So at education, the most important thing is the pedagogy behind it, the art and the science of learning. So if as a teacher, you might have come across Bloom's taxonomy. So you've got knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis. It develops. The mind's ability to understand knowledge develops. We have developed a model purely on learning experience. We focus on how the experience of learning something can create development within you. So within that, here's our simple go-to mantra. We start with interaction. So a simple icebreaker to a complex activity where everyone's contributing a bunch of ideas. Then we move to collaboration. We put them into groups. Again, it is extremely insightful to see when young people work in groups, their learning shoots the sky. They learn much better because then there's more ideas, more holistic thinking. And what's amazing to notice is they develop a capability to even persuade each other to reach a negotiable center. And if you see today's world, that's a skill we could really use, from corporations to nations. That's what the game is all about, isn't it? How to cooperate. And that's what the planet is also asking for. So collaboration happens to work in that direction. Competition. This is something we actually made a part of our program when parents gave us more knowledge. So the parents said, the future is competitive. My child is entering a competitive world beyond the school gate. So why don't you make it competitive? So D&I said, yeah, why not? Let's make it competitive. So now we have groups competing with each other. We create simple challenges like a crossword to a complex challenge such as a comprehension, which is misfacting details. So work as a team to correct this information so that you can present it, or create a questionnaire that's going to help others analyze what you're studying. So these are the different ways in which we create a competitive environment as well for the young people. Lastly, analysis and presentation go hand in hand for us. They have to analyze information, for which, like we showed you, we create techniques. We give them techniques to analyze things. Something as simple as the journalist method of analysis. Ask the 5 W's, what, who, why, when, where, and ask the 1 H, how. And if you ask and you find the answers of all of this, you've analyzed the topic thoroughly almost already. So from a simple technique to a complex technique, we provide them a structure so that they can analyze the knowledge we provide them. And finally, they get to present. And this is a part where we get to see the non-speakers eventually bloom into almost orators, where they become so confident because along the journey, other young people have appreciated and admired their ideas. They become confident in sharing them with people beyond dreamers and innovators. And that's the change that makes us proud every time we hear about it. When a child says, now I can go back to the dinner table and talk about Afghanistan with my mom and dad and Dadaji, we are proud that that child feels so. You know, because that's how you feel that you've truly contributed to their everyday life experience. As far as the session goes, just to highlight the experience of it, each session is tailor-made. We focus on each child's need and therefore create a broad range of activities that makes it an all-inclusive experience. The learnings take place within activities. There is only a window of 4 to 5 minutes where one speaker, which is I or Mrs. Mehra, speaks. Otherwise, there are devoted periods of 10 to 15 minutes after 5 minutes communication where they're the ones researching, where they're the ones collecting knowledge. Lastly, we make sure that every group to every individual has a platform to present their knowledge. For that, like we've said, we've created competitions like a debating competition, to providing them opportunities to give speeches in the modules, during workshops, during sessions. And we have created the DNI newsletter, which is a weekly newsletter released, which highlights the learning of young dreamers in the form of articles written by them based on their research and their ideas, purely independent. I only edit the grammar, nothing else. And that is published onto all our DNI platforms from Instagram to Telegram. And it's spread. And we've got beautiful responses from people who, when they're idle on a Sunday afternoon, to parents who just want to see their child blossom, have witnessed their work show up in the newsletter. On that front, we are covering all the action side of things, from skills to activities to techniques to methodology. Now we're going to move on to knowledge. And I would like Mrs. Mehra to please take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Keetsa. That was wonderful. And I hope sorry, I'm so used to saying parents. Thank you so much. So I hope we've been able to convey that what exactly are we trying to do in terms of skills. Moving on to knowledge, I will try to sum it up and tell you in short what exactly we are doing in terms of sharing the knowledge. So you see, again, from my personal experience, I realize I was actually working at that point of time, and I remember interacting with some kids who were in high school, and they came to India, and my interaction with them kind of blew my mind, because they instantly asked me, what is the population of your country? And I didn't know what to answer, because I really didn't know what the population of my country is. And when they were speaking about certain things, I was like, I haven't learned anything. So it's there in the books, it's there, but I haven't been able to apply anything. So here is what we try to do at DNI: give them knowledge where the newspaper starts making sense, and they have the antennas in place. With this antenna is able to grasp all the knowledge. And how we are doing is we pick up a module, we do it modules. So we pick up modules in which we will be taking, deciding that this is a content that needs to be delivered to them. I'll be taking up one particular module that we've covered to elaborate more. So these are the modules that we've done. So these are like refugee crisis. Why did we take refugee crisis? Because Middle East today has tons of problems. Maybe it is just for hunger for oil. That is hardcore capitalistic values. That is the reason why today the entire Middle East today is suffering. And what is happening is it's created a lot of refugees. We have the African nations where we have refugee crisis. So not just this, there are tons of more. So this has a domino effect. We're living in a globalized environment. We're doing that. When pandemic struck, we wanted to tell the dreamers, what is this pandemic? There's a difference between pandemic, endemic, epidemic. So how do you comprehend that? What are the stages? So there was a module. So this is all these modules are decided through the week process. Like there would be a module for about 2 months, 3 months, depending upon entirely their academic schedule, because we totally understand that academics is important. You have to concentrate on your school. We are not doing this at the cost of your school. We are doing this to give you the knowledge to help you comprehend. So Keetsa, can we go back to the earlier slide? I'll just give them a brief. So we've done, these are the modules that we've done. When we say Cold War, the art of debating, the speeches of visionaries, crisis of the environment, all these are the thrilling missions. They are all spread over weeks. So just to explain you what each one of them would be like, Keetsa, the next slide, please. Thank you. Yeah, so these are the subtopics of that. When we talk about, let's say, the thrilling missions has Operation Entebbe, Kandahar hijacking, Operation Meghdoot, Operation Red Dawn, and Operation Neptune Spear. Operation Red Dawn was when Saddam Hussein was caught and he was convicted. So you see, these are the certain things which even we do not know as adults. But it's so wonderful when your child comes back home and discusses this. So in order to elaborate this further, what we are also going to do is I'll explain to you about one particular module, how we go about it. So we picked up this, which is called the nuclear race. Now, nuclear race was an 8-week long module in which we had sessions once a week. That session lasts for about 1.5 hours. And we pick up, it's all decided earlier in detail. And that's what we tell the dreamers when we float that this is what we'll be doing. We discussed about World War II. When we discussed about World War II, you know, the children were able to comprehend not only about World War I, World War II, but its impact, formation of United Nations thereafter, what exactly happened. So it just goes, all our activities that are involved in this are basically to get this information into their DNA. So when we talk about specifically the 8-week long, this one, we did the World War I, World War II, impact of that is when the nuclear race started, along with the other race, which is the space race or the proxy wars. We explain it to them. The Cold War. What is Cold War? And at that point of time, communism, capitalism is explained, which I can say with pride that my children, when I say my children, I mean my family, of our family of dreamers and innovators, they know it. They know it mighty well. So especially when it says the communist China, what is communist China? They will know it. So they understand that. What is Cuban Missile Crisis? And Cuban Missile Crisis happened in Cuba, but it had an impact in India. It's very interesting. What impact it had, my children will be able to tell you. Then we have the nuclear disasters, the Chernobyl and the Fukushima. Exactly. All of these have had an indirect or direct impact across the globe, including our country. India's journey, India opted for non-aligned movement, but what impact did it have on us? Have we signed NPT? So these are the things our children know. And then finally, the module nuclear race ended with Iran nuclear deal. My children know it. So this has been a huge pride that how our children have actually been through with us and through this session of learning. So to explain you what a regular session at DNI would be, it's very simple. We understand academics is taxing for these children. So we just make sure that before the session, a 4-minute, not more than 5-minute video is sent to them. And that video is usually kept in mind that the children are able to see that and understand it's not a very heavy video. It will be most of the time in animation also, even adults like seeing animation. And thereafter, in this particular session that we did, that we've highlighted here, India's journey into the nuclear club was a session from the module, the nuclear race. A video was sent to them. They saw the video. They had an idea of what this is going to be about. And that's all we want them to prepare. Once they're into the session, the knowledge that was covered was, we decided that we did the Cold War timeline. We did the mutual assured destruction and non-aligned movement, India's nuclear race timeline. Who were the key figures? Who were the key leaders at that point? What were the key treaties that was not signed and not signed by India eventually, and Pakistan's nuclear race too? But all this, if we just tell the children, all right, children, let's just study this, trust me, they're going to hate us for this. They will just turn their devices off, shut their devices off, and they say, I've had it, mom, I can't attend this. So we do not want that. I am a mother of 2 and I totally understand how to create an impact. And as I said, I have my Amir Khan here who is helping us devise the activities, and we together are able to do this. So how we do it is, we have on the skills and activities on the right hand side, we are giving them the content. We are telling them, now you make the questions and you ask your teams. We work in teams. They are building their own content based on some information. So about 3 slides, activities, 3-slide activity, that's how we do. And in this particular session, what we achieved was the children got creative because we did something which is known as reverse bingo. We gave them a list of keywords and they had to build their own shortest passage from there and then deliver. And then since they have that feeling of competitiveness, oh, I have to beat my team, they do it. They do it mighty well and they're accountable. They know that if I do not perform, my team will not win. They win as a team, they lose as a team. Hence, they collaborate. They're accountable for what they learn, because if they do not pay attention, they will not be able to be an asset to their team. So they're learning how to deal with people, because we may function very well individually, but we do not work always very well in a group. And that we adults know, many of us have learned the hard way. So this is what we are trying to overcome at a tender age. And in the process, they are becoming analytical. They are becoming more receptive. So we've given you a brief idea. I'm sure that this content looks overwhelming, but the magic happens. And we do have two dreamers here with us who will be telling you about their experiences. So about this, I think, yes, so these are a few programs that we've had in the recent past, where what we've done is our sessions are to, all the sessions, the knowledge sessions are put into modules. And then we start from the baseline and then bring them to the contemporary knowledge, because every event we've reached there because there's a domino effect. So we started from somewhere and we've reached somewhere. So we want the children to understand the base, and it's like a story that they understand the connection. That's what the modules are. Then we have workshops. We've started recently also workshop and Stay in Touch. I would like to put them in the same bracket, because Stay in Touch is also for a program that has been started where we do once a month a session. This is basically for those children who are now, because of other commitments, are not able to continue their sessions with DNI. Again, I, as a parent, totally understand. My daughter's in class 11th, and many a times I'll tell her, oh, don't attend, you go and study. Why? Because this is how the academics pressure is. They have to do that. So hence, there is a program called Stay in Touch. So we have recently, this is a new program, and we have, this is the third month. September is the third month. So we have sessions once a month. And here we did, in the past 2 months, this is repeated, was Afghanistan Decoded. And trust me, my children know why Afghanistan is a graveyard of empires, because countries have created an havoc in Afghanistan, and that is not something that the world wants to see. And how this is impacting the world across the globe, each and every country, is also being covered. So with great pride, I want to say that I would like to present our two dreamers here. And before there was a little feedback that was there, the positive feedback. Keitha, can you just put that in the chat if possible? Or we can just send it to them later. That'll be wonderful, right? We can do that. So I like to, with great pride, our two dreamers are here. I would be putting them in spotlight. One is Anadya, and other is Arhan. So thank you, both of you, for logging in. Anadya is in grade 11, and I can say that Anadya and Dreamers as Innovators has kind of grown together. So she's been with us for 3 years, and many a times I will be telling Anadya, are you sure you want to do this? Because you have your exams coming up, but she's there. So thank you, Anadya, for believing in us. And then we have our other champ, Arhan. So Arhan has recently joined Dreamers and Innovators about, I think, 2 months ago. So what his recent experience been? And then we have, so both of them will be giving an insight of their experience with Dreamers and Innovators. So over to you, Anadya.
Good afternoon to all present here. My name is Anadya Mittal, and I am currently studying in grade 11 as a student of Modern School Vasant Vihar. So I have been a part of the Dreamers and Innovators family for approximately 3 years now. And my first module with DNI was one that I was forced to be a part of. It was during the summer vacation, and my mother was sick and tired of me clinging to my devices. So she enrolled me in DNI. And little did I know that I would keep going back for more. What attracted me to DNI was the style and enthusiasm with which Keith sir and Roina ma'am taught us. The simplified teaching material, when it was mixed with the easygoing environment and when you garnish it with the interactive activities, it made Dreamers and Innovators all the more appealing to me. DNI has also instilled within me a sense of confidence, as I was aware that I was in a non-judgmental space. It has brought about a change in me, as it has also motivated me to learn more and research on the events that have taken place either in the past or are currently in motion. DNI has also allowed me to flaunt my knowledge, and at times it has allowed me to surprise those around me An example of this would be this recent situation in Afghanistan. Post the DNI modules, I have learned a lot about Afghanistan and its past events, of which the present is a domino effect. This has allowed me to be a part of the various discussions that people have that take place around me. It has also brought out my competitive side, and it has taught me the art of collaboration through its informative yet fun activities such as the crossword, the reverse bingo, and many more. My DNI journey has overall been an extremely fruitful one, and I hope it continues to be the same, if not for me, for others who wish to join it. Thank you so much.
Anadia, thank you so much, beta. Thank you. You've always been there, and thank you for being there. Okay, moving on to Arhan. Arhan, thank you for logging in, beta, and over to you.
Yes, so good afternoon, everybody, respected educators. My name is Arhan Gupta, and I'm a student of Modern School Barakhamba Road, and I'm in 8th class currently. So I have been in DNI for the last 2 months, as ma'am said, and it has been a really joyful experience. Doing DNI has helped me to understand and speak about the relevant social issues and other things, which is great fun. And it has also, and the best thing about DNI is that that they teach me through interacting. Like in other schools, you see they teach us through books, but here I'm interacting with my teachers and my other online friends, which is really great. But the cherry on the top of the tree is when I can flaunt my knowledge, because my mom, my dad, and my friends are really impressed by my insight, and that's a great feeling. Doing the DNI has also improved my teamwork skills immensely, and I look forward to joining each and every session, each and every module, because it's so fun. It's the best. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Arhan, trust me, it'll be a pleasure to have you again and again. And it's been wonderful to have you, son. So thank you so much. Now I'll move on to Kisa. I think now we have Anchika, right? Anchika, are you there? Yeah. Anchika, invite you to please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my daughter has been a part of DNI for a long time now. And our journey with DNI has been extremely enriching, and there's a lot of learning. So as a parent, I've always felt a need of something more than the CBSE syllabus that our schools generally follow, with due respect, but I've always felt there should be something else apart from just the books that our kids are studying, something that is more rational and more recent. So the kind of learning that makes children grow in all the perspectives is what I was looking for. And my daughter would always be talking about ye syllabus nahi hua, wo syllabus nahi hua. And I was always worried that hamesha thodi padha sakte hain. We need something more, something very informative for them, something interesting. So, and then DNI happened, and a very dynamic concept that Rohina and Keith sir introduced to the children. I've experienced that my child has learned new ways to put her words and express herself by using a very impressive vocabulary. So Saisha, my daughter, had always a good command over the language, but there was always a gap between the way she wrote and the way she expressed herself verbally. So after attending sessions with DNI, she participates in informal and formal debating sessions also. And the topics there are impromptu. So the way she speaks now is very relevant. Her words are very impressive also. So our dinner table conversations have moved from she fought with me, namak kam hai to, Papa, do you know about Tel Aviv? Do you know Tesla's CEO? Do you know who's working good for the environment? Apple is also contributing to the environment. So, things like that. Dinners have become very informative now. So instead of discussing about the recipes, we are discussing about Kandahar refugees, the Kandahar hijack, Afghanistan refugees, and such things. So during the pandemic, the children were getting very bored at the house because there was no outlet. They were not meeting a lot of people. So when the sessions, I enrolled my daughter in DNI during the pandemic only. So the online sessions, I never felt a need of going anywhere else. They were a great pack. The sessions were a pack in itself where everything was there. I remember one of the debating modules, which was the best one, I think. Such experienced mentors, they taught every detail about debating, how to gather the facts right, when and how to use their thoughts. I have not missed a single debating session with my daughter. I used to sit on the side and watch everything. All the kids were so enthusiastic. And one thing I experienced during those sessions was that they had learned a lot of life skills also. It was not just the session going on, not just the information, but also the life skills, which are very important. Such teamwork, they were supporting each other a lot. And of course, they were arguing respectfully. Also, yes, they were using a very presentable language, which was very impressive. I was very, very impressed with that session, particularly. The whole week, the children, they look forward to my daughter attends the Saturday sessions. So the whole week, they look forward to the Saturday session. So the whole week, the children are either watching the videos, and on YouTube, it's not just one video that you watch, there is a loop of videos. So that 4-minute video makes you get into the whole thing. I mean, line wise, obviously you click on the videos and you grasp so much out of that. And of course, then you discuss. And after the session, the way they pen down, it is like having a young journalist in the house who's talking and writing about such recent topics. And yeah, so that's it. I'm very happy with the fact that children are learning in and out, they're thinking out of the box, talking relevantly, and most of all, thinking very rationally. And DNI has motivated them to dream and learn about innovations. I'd like to commend and congratulate the founders of DNI, Ms. Rohina and Mr. Keith Gomes, for their amazing work. They're doing great. I find your work, the whole DNI concept, very admirable, and I appreciate that you're always open to our feedbacks and new ideas. I wish my daughter always continues with DNI. She's always under your guidance, and I highly recommend DNI to all the students and parents, the teachers as well. Thank you.
Anshika, I can't, that was very, very special.
That was very special.
That
yes.
was very special.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, you know, I have to add something here that Anshika has been through and through support for us. So I remember interacting with her in December. And what she said was, Rohina, can you do something? Rohina and Keitha, can you do something? Can you please have something for us parents also? Because sometimes the children will say a few things and then we don't know how to answer. So that kind of gave us so much of confidence that yes, what effort we are trying to do is working. And trust me, our effort has only been based on honesty because it's coming from a parent and a teacher together. So what should go through and through to the end result is there. So Anshika has always been with us, and Saisha, of course, her daughter, has been incredible. So self-motivated child. So next, I'd like to call Nidhi. She is another parent of our community, and her daughter is Asmi. She has been with us for, I think, about a year, right? So yeah. Over to Nidhi. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohina and Keith, for giving me this opportunity. I think Anshika has said it all. I don't have any words, and I second that. Each and every word, I second that. So no doubt about it. And I totally agree. Debating session was one of the best sessions which I have seen. It was really a good one. And you know, I'm actually really happy that I feel proud and happy that admitting Asmi for DNI sessions was really a wise decision for us. So I have seen her a sea change in her overall perspective to looking at the things and problem solving. I feel that, DNI has made her more confident, more extrovert, and participative in today's, virtual world. Earlier, I have noticed her that, when these classes have started, when this virtual concept has started, she used to be hesitant in speaking and asking questions during the school and tuition classes. But now she's much more confident, and, it has also helped her in, opportunity of working in the groups, which again turned out into an asset, as even in the schools they need to do the same activities in the group. The knowledge and the learning that, she got from DNI is much different from bookish knowledge that she gets from school. And I am in the corporate for more than, 20 years. It's almost 24 years now. But the things which I'm learning now, I'm amazed that kids are learning in this age. And there are few things that we are learning hand in hand, and I'm so surprised that I'm so impressed that, whatever we are learning in the corporates now, team working, getting into the presentation, into deep and all that stuff, so they are learning at this stage only. So I don't know what they'll do when they'll reach our stage. We can't compete them at all. So these are the good things, and the knowledge and the learning, uh, obviously the bookish part is the best part. They are coming out of the books. Obviously books knowledge is important, but this is a practical knowledge which every kid should learn for sure. And they have made aware, DNIs have made aware not only for the present happenings but the past happenings in the world, which impacts us directly or indirectly. In fact, I totally agree with Anshika that, we are not aware when they talk about few things. It's sometimes like French, because we have never get into that past. So I feel that DNI is sincere effort of Rohina and Keith sir to make our children more aware about what's happening around. In fact, as a working parent, we are not getting chance to get into the deep and making the kids into all this stuff. But yes, you guys have done it, and you have covered it a lot. So we are in a mental peace that they are in the safe hands. They are getting an overall development, and they are taught in a very good environment with every life skill. So totally, and I'm very happy that Asmi is a part of this family and will continue to be part of this family for sure, no second thought. Thank you again, Rohina and Keith sir, for giving this opportunity and adding Asmi to your family. So I'm really happy. Thank you so much.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you so much.
Thank you so much. I must admit that this is, I mean, yes.
Overwhelming to see
I
the
know
least.
this is totally overwhelming.
You should do more feedbacks. This is so encouraging.
I think I'm having one more next week. All right. The team is going. So definitely, Keith, so we're having one more next week.
This is
No,
fuel to
Rohina,
us.
actually, Keith sir, actually, when all the things comes from the heart. So actually, this is a true feedbacks. And the best part is, whenever we give any suggestion, it is thought through.
Yeah.
It is thought through. We feel that, we look forward that if you are discussing something, it will be taken it, and our children's, whatever we are thinking we want to do with our children's, we are not able to do it, but we are sure that the DNI team will take care of that. So that brings more confidence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. And I must admit that since we did not have any precedents to follow, this was something which was the need of the hour. We did that. It's only parents like you, parents like Anshika, parents like all the other parents fraternity, whether it was Siddhi or anybody else, they are the ones who've been guiding us that, you should probably include this. And then we will sit down and say, yes, we should. You gave us an idea that why don't you focus a lot on problem solving. Remember, Nidhi, you called me up. And we did that. So refugee crisis onwards, we started doing that. We did include a lot of that. So we've tried to do that through and through, and please keep guiding us through the journey. So thank you so much for all this that you've said. It means the world. It means the world. So I think Keetha, we've already overshot.
Yeah. So we're through
Wrap
with
up.
everything. We're just going to come to a close with lastly discussing our offerings.
Yes, please.
We've so what we're doing here today is the first of a million more steps that we're planning to take. And this step is directed towards the teaching community and the parenting community across the planet. DNI has no limits. That's how this concept is seen. These are the three offerings that we have currently innovated upon and aspire to help to see them happen, and mostly humbly request for you to contribute to this part, where if you feel any of these appeal to you, we are going to be providing a Google form at the end of this session. Please fill it up with details and any leads, anyone that you think could make use of DNI for their children, for their school, or for their community and family. So these are the three programs we've planned: the TP, IP, and CP. The TP is the Teacher Partner Program. So if you know any teacher who goes beyond school or is maybe just recently left school and is looking to do innovative work, DNI is open to teachers who have pre-existing student networks to come join us, learn with us how we create our programs and conduct DNI programs with their student communities. Second, institutional partners. So this is the big goose we are chasing. This is the true aspiration for DNI at the moment. We are looking to interact with institutional leaders and get a chance to present our workshops at schools so that we can reach the maximum number of young people who could use these. Lastly, the community partner program. So we, every now and then, as of today, the past 3 years have been fueled by parent and child support. All of them have given feedback. All of them have done as simple as word of mouth. They've passed the word along, and we've gotten more and more people to come, witness DNI, become a part of the family, become dreamers parents. So if you know any parents who have a community of their own or family of their own, and they're looking for something for their children, then please feel free to leave details about them in the Google form link that we're about to provide you. These are the three programs. And for any further details, you can ask us any questions. And we're also going to provide you a brochure on WhatsApp. It will contain all the information that we've just been through during this presentation so that it's easy for you to share and convey what DNI is currently doing.
I guess, yes, that pretty much wraps up what we wanted to convey. Apologies, we've overshot by about 20 minutes. So we hope we haven't kept you away from your work for, something that you had to attend to, and we've kept you away from that. Apologies for that. But once again, thank you so much for listening to us. And please, if there's anything anybody wants to ask, please feel free to. Any queries, any questions now, later. And
and in the chat, we've put the Google form link.
Yes,
please access the Google form that contains a request for details from your end. And for any input or suggestions that you have, which could help us improve our own program, as well as any leads that you could offer us, please share them in the Google form. We'd really be grateful for that.
That'll be wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Keith and Ms. Rohina, I just wanted to ask you one thing. By what age group do you start this project?
Okay, that's interesting, Keith. So can I just answer?
Yeah, please.
All right. So we start from, technically we start from age group 12 plus. And a very interesting observation I'd like to share here. So we start from age group 12 plus, and it goes on till about, we've done engineering students too. But a very interesting observation is, so we have 2 or 3 batches running. Now we have one batch with the younger kids and one batch for the older kids. And trust me, you know, many a times you'll think, how will this concept go through these to the chota wala bachas? But it's mind blowing. The younger ones are able to respond better to the older ones because the older ones are already in a structured thinking process. The younger ones tend to absorb it and tend to ask questions that sometimes even Keetha and I, there are 2 of us who always conduct the session, not one, it's always 2 of us who do it together. And we are also kind of taken aback. That's a question that we weren't mentally prepared for because we are also learning. So yes, Keetha. Ms. Keetha, that's what.
Great. Thank you so much. And a great initiative you guys have taken up, and I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So much, Ms. Rawat. Okay, any, please, if there's anything, any questions that you have, please feel free to ask.
Rohina, this is Sukant. Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, Dr.
Oh,
Mehba.
I just wanted to say that you both are doing a wonderful job. And today is the best day that you have organized this. And I would like to wish both of you a very happy Teachers Day, because you are really putting in a lot of effort, because being a teacher and being a good teacher are two different things. And you both are very good teachers. So
Thank
my
you.
congratulations and best wishes to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Dr.
so much,
Verma.
Dr.
Thank you
Verma.
so much. It's, yes, it is Teachers' Day, and it, well, we are so glad it just worked out on this day. Certain things are destined to happen, I think. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. All right.
Yes.
I guess if there's, we can probably end the meeting today
Yes.
and request you to kindly fill up the form. And that is very important for us. So again, thank you for logging in and giving us the spare time from your busy schedules. So thank you so much. Thank you. You please feel free to exit the meeting now.
Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, Had.
Hi,
Yes.
Auntie. Hi, sir. Saisha this side.
Hi, Saisha. Turn on the camera if you can.
Happy Teachers Day. I really
Ah.
enjoyed the module.
Thank you so much,
so
Saisha.
much. So let me just introduce Saisha for a second. Saisha is another dreamer, a very special dreamer for Dreamers and Innovators. She is somebody who keeps us charged and keeps us going. Over to you, Saisha.
I really enjoy the modules and I always look forward to all the sessions and learning about new stuff. So happy Teachers Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Guria. And it's a pleasure to have you part of it. And that keeps us going. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you soon. All right. Thank you. Okay. I shall end the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.